Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training. We're out doing our some chores today. I had to go do an oil change, and I took Luna with me, the little puppy. And I stopped by for some lunch. And it got me thinking about how important it is to teach a dog an off switch. You hear me talking about all the time, and dealing with, and this is my accent point in a general sense, is dealing with high drive dogs. Working dogs, dogs that have a very high energy outflow that you learn to work properly in the right way, and getting them into toys and getting them chasing things and doing all kinds of things in their obedience that's drive related, right? We're always using drive, and we're always talking about drive. Drive is nothing more than an excitement level directed towards the normal nature of a dog to go out and chase things, go after food, whatever it may be, okay? So that's drive, and drive is hyperactivity, energy, all that good stuff that you've got to deal with, and learning how to take that energy and put it somewhere, get it to go into the work that you're working with. At the same time, when you're doing this, when you're trying to develop an animal, especially an animal that has all these genetic stamps, right? That is a high drive dog that you're buying that's genetically predisposed to go in these directions towards working dogs, you end up with an animal that's very high energy outflow, and that can get to be a problem because you're not teaching the dog to have an off switch, okay? So doing the off switch and teaching a dog to have an off switch is very important. One of the main areas and one of the main ways of teaching a dog to have an off switch is to really accent your downstays. And you see me doing that a lot, where I'm doing around the corner work, and I'm doing downstays, and I'm building up a big criteria about my downs. And there's a reason for that, because that is going to be what leads into and is a part and parcel of my off switch, okay? So when I take a dog out, when I go to the dealership, I'm in an area that has a lot of people sitting around being bored, waiting for their vehicles. So you have a lot of people, but they're not hyperactive. They're not a bunch of kids running around everywhere. They're bored sitting there waiting for their vehicle. Environment is really important, and you have to learn what environment gives you. When I go out to Home Depot, that environment gives me a certain thing within that environment that I use and I accent within my training programs, right? When I go to the mall, I go do my downstays. A lot of my work is downstays, and there's a reason for that. I guess when I was sitting here at lunch, I was thinking about it. I took Luna out, and I'll give you a picture of this in a second. But I have her on a downstay next to the table. I got a bowl of water, and then we're only able to eat outside because of the COVID situation with masks and et cetera, and dealing with all the things we've got to deal with our new world that we're living in. But in a general sense, it's the same thing. I put her underneath the table, I gave her a bowl, got her some water, and started to accent to her that she needed to stay down, and gave her a few corrections for it, and then just got her into her being relaxed and praising her for it. And I'm sitting there eating my meal. So yes, this is in my lifestyle, and normally most people don't want to have to mess with their dog. Well, this is what I do. I eat, breathe, and sleep dogs. So for me, this is just one more thing that I can use environmentally to teach a dog a behavior, which means to chill out, just to relax, to have an off switch, okay? When you're at the dealership, you're usually waiting an hour or 2 hours for your car. I was told when I first put it in this morning for an oil change, it was going to be 2 hours. And I know that. And then you've got a huge old floor with a bunch of chairs and a bunch of places to sit. Everybody's sitting around being bored. There's no energy level, right? There's no energy level that's coming at the dog. I can do what I need to do to get the dog into a down, get her to relax, get her to chill out, and she's going to be there a good hour or so, right? So I can get her to do a down, and maybe a little bit of a struggle, down, stay, a little bit of corrections, and then make her learn to relax, and she finally chills out, and there is the whole thing. They're learning to have an off switch. Very important. One of the most important things, a lot of people see my dogs and they hear about Malinois and they hear about these high energy outflow dogs. And they're always accenting the fact that these are high energy dogs, they're going to be a pain in the ass, you're going to have to learn to deal with all this. And that's all you hear in the videos. But you never hear anybody accent about taking a dog like this and teaching them to have an off switch. It's in your lifestyle. It's how you deal with your environment that teaches that off switch. Meaning, I use a Kuranda bed for downstays in my house. I accent a lot of getting the dog to down and making them stay in that down position to a point that they learn to chill out. They learn to relax. The more you do that in the right instances and the right emphasis on the dog, the better they're going to learn to be able to take a chill pill when you say down and stay, and you put them into a down stay that you require or you want an off switch. The more you do it, the more you accent and teach the dog to have an off switch. If you don't do that, and you don't teach the dog to have an off switch and use it environmentally and accent this in your training program, you're not going to have what I have with my animals. Okay? I have an animal that I can take out anywhere with me. I tell him to downstay, and he learns to chill out. If I'm out in public or I'm somewhere where I want the dog to just blasé, I've got it because I've accented it. I put it into my training program. It's important, okay? It's important all the more so for you to have a dog that you can live with. You know what I mean? And if a dog doesn't have an off switch, well, you got a high drive dog like some of the dogs that I deal with, you got a problem because it's going to be a major pain in the ass. So my point of view in this and what I'm trying to accent right now with this video is to try to get you to realize that you need to accent this within your training program. Put the time in and accent this when you have the opportunity. So, what the hell is it? Got a siren going. I'm wondering where they're going to go. They're going to go this way. They're right behind me, so I've got to pull over. All right, guys. So that was my point of this post, was basically trying to get you to learn to have an off switch, right? And then accent it within your training programs that you accent that. We'll get into this a little bit more. And I was using Luna as an example because this is where my head's at today when I was working Luna through this. So I thank you very much. You have a good day. And there goes the officer. Yay! So we had to pull over and let them have the roadway. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.